Hey everyone, welcome back to Apollo Art Analysis. In today's episode, we're going to be studying a piece by the established multidisciplinary artist known as Sweetdisguise. And in this episode, we're going to be looking at the intimate format of the portrait. We're also going to explore the Doberman of death and the evolution of the canine. So let's jump right into it. So at first sight, we're met face to face with this terrifying lone beast. It is no doubt an intense introduction which may shock, scare, or frighten some viewers here. Of course, the placement of our lone subject in center certainly elevates him as a main focus of the composition at hand. We see this further reinforced by this extreme white background, right? That duality of the black and white just defines the contrast and makes him absolutely impossible to miss here. You may notice, of course, colors within this composition really are that dual color palette. Like I said, you have black and white, and you kind of have the silver that's in between that as well. Does an amazing job of reflecting that black, and the tones here, it's just absolutely stunning. That contrast is just brilliant here. It is very intense as well, right? That intense white background gives an incredible sense of visual energy. Even though it is white, it is a neon white, if you will, and you can certainly see that in the eyes of our lone subject. They glow with this certain possession which is hard to put to words. But regardless, the format of this work is a portrait. Of course, this displays the head of the lone subject. Sometimes we have a body portrait, but here we're working with just the head, right? Very intimate visual experience, place you face to face with the subject in person it presents. And so one of the most striking elements of this work, perhaps next to the impact of this extreme white, this vibrance, is going to be seen in the impact of texture. We see this quite clearly, right? You have the lightest of furs, very delicate in that way. You can see the kind of lone subject's nose there, and you have the very shiny silver teeth, very rigid as well. This, of course, gives it an incredibly realistic composition. There is no doubt about that. And this is due to the digital render medium of expression which it was created in, right? We'll talk a bit deeper about that here in a second, but like I said, the render is incredibly realistic and does an amazing job of convincing us and immersing us within the realism of this composition. Why don't I ask you, how do y'all feel when you first see this work, or what is your first impression when you see the composition at hand? Of course, our lone subject is a dog of some kind or another, what we call a canine. And a canine descended from their ancient ancestors of the gray wolf. And of course, the gray wolf is still around today, but we domesticated dogs, and you can see just how diverse they've gotten over their years of breeding. It's absolutely amazing, and even some ways it's a little tragic in some of the ways that they're bred. But regardless of that, this evolution is incredibly important. They evolved directly alongside humans and men, especially in hunting. Of course, we see this. They are one of man's most loyal companions, and when we point to that, contrast them with something like cats, right? Cats evolved alongside us more so as hunters of convenience, while dogs really evolved alongside us as hunters of companionship, right? They were deliberately bred alongside us, while cats kind of just hung around or stayed around because they could catch things like mice, right? Just kind of hunters of convenience, while dogs were companions coordinating directly alongside us. So if cats are hunters of convenience, then dogs are hunters of coordination and companionship. That is incredibly important here. You can also see that why cats tend to be a lot more independent, while dogs are a lot more kind of loving and love on their humans. That's not to say cats don't love their owners, but you can certainly see the companionship which dogs have, and that's why they got their reputation, right? And the work before us appears to show what we call a Doberman. And a Doberman is a pretty good hunting dog, especially on barns. He's a great tunneling dog and very good with that snout, very good at sniffing, just like many dogs as well. So there are many different benefits to different breeds of dog, and the Doberman is certainly no stranger to that as well. And you see these eyes, right? I talked a little bit about that earlier. These eyes just glow with this intense possession. It's as if he's possessed by a spirit which goes beyond words. It's hard to say exactly what's going on here, but this composition is pretty dark. It is daunting, it is dangerous and scary in many different ways, but that's incredibly important to the composition at hand. I want to ask you, what do you all think is happening within the composition? Is our lone subject, is this dog or canine being possessed by something, or what exactly is happening? But regardless, you certainly feel the strength, the might, and power of this lone beast. I think there's no doubt about that. And, the Doberman and many different dogs are used in, things things like rap music videos to kind of show their might and power, their danger, if you will, and that's pretty important to the dog as well. So yeah, this is a really good work. Like I said, digital render incredibly realistic, and the rendering program used here is going to be Cinema 4D. Cinema 4D really is an industry standard in many different ways. Of course, it's not open source like something like Blender, but there are a lot of professional artists who use Cinema 4D, especially for, concert visuals and things of that sort. So yeah, this is a stunning work, and like I said, really hope y'all enjoyed today. We talked about so many different things, from the, immense contrast of this black and white. We talked about the intimate nature of the portrait. We talked about those dangerous silver teeth. We talked about the Doberman and the evolution of the canine directly alongside humans from their distant ancestors of the gray wolf. So many different things we hit on today. I really hope y'all enjoyed. If y'all did, go check out the original artist, Sweet Disguise, doing some amazing stuff in the medium of the 3D or digital render as well as animation. So many different places to really discover this artist and appreciate their work. So, like I said, if y'all enjoyed, go check out the original artist, Sweet Disguise. My name's Apollo. This was Apollo Art Analysis, and I'll see y'all on the next episode. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you'd like to support our work directly, please check out our Apollo community tokens. Apollo Art Exchange is an ecosystem of art appreciation which elevates artists each and every day. Thanks for listening.